Hi, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to do an unusual thing and do this little program in the English language. The reason for that is that I might want to reach out to people around the world, not only to the Swedes. Did you know Sweden, populated by approximately 11 million people, is one of Europe's, by area, largest countries, located in the north, with a very cold winter and a nice summer because we have the Gulf Stream. That everybody knows. Sweden is mostly known for its innovations, IKEA, ABBA, music, things like that. What most people don't know is that the Swedish taxpayer is the heaviest taxed people in the world, sometimes surpassed by Denmark, which is our neighbor to the south. A very small country, mainly a flat one. At least Sweden has some mountains, and we have some rivers, and we have hydroelectric power. We did have nuclear power, but the government decided it's not popular, so we'll just build windmills instead, which is not working out very well. But what we can do, we look at the gross national product of Sweden. It's quite high per capita. It's about $600 billion a year total. And divide that by 10 and a half, 11 million. They don't really know how many people lives here because we had uncontrolled immigration. That's another question. But let's say, according to statistics, we have 56,300 US dollar per capita in gross national product. Problem is, 82.5% of that is tax. Yeah, somebody says, no, in Sweden we only pay 30%. No, you don't. The employer pays an employee tax on top of your gross salary of 33.5%. And plus, you never see those money. They go straight into the black hole. The other thing is, about 20% of every employed Swede works for a private company. That is a company that makes money. 30% of the workforce in Sweden, the workforce, are state or communal employees. They consume money because these are the monies that the private sector has provided for the state and the local authorities to use to employ unnecessary and dumb officials. I don't. I really don't know how to explain this any better. The ultimate communist country in the world and in Europe is the nation of Sweden, which also has a hybrid government consisting of what they call a parliament, Riksdagen, which has no power other than to harass their population. We have a king. I met him several times. He cannot be accounted for that he is illiterate and a total idiot. He was born that way. But it's like, why do you have an office? Because you have a last name, because your mother's womb put you out. Shouldn't it be like we vote for people that we like, not whom has inherited its position? is a modern question. So, Sweden is a monarchy and a communist state that taxes its population hardest in the world. So, anything you hear from the European Parliament or you hear from other journalists around the world, Sweden should be the example of how you not run a nation, where you, in the least, care about your taxpayers. They're mistreated. They're beaten to the ground. People can hardly afford anything unless they are qualified for a bank loan to own their place of living, to own their car, a car. And of course, the globalists want you to buy a Tesla for about $150,000. Nobody can put up that cash. You got to have a bank loan. And if you don't drive. If you can't borrow money for buying a house in Stockholm, for example, if you can't borrow $500,000 or $700,000 for an old shitty house, you're homeless. And this is the same situation for the USA. But I just wanted my international viewers to get the fact on the table. Sweden is a communist country that's going to hell. And also, on top of that, Sweden has a state-funded government agency called SIDA, SIDA, with a budget of $5.3 billion that we send to developing countries, as they call it. Dictatorships in Arabia, dictatorships in Africa. We are the good guys. We're going to take the Swedish workers' money and we send them abroad. And we take another 75 or $7.5 billion to fund a war with NATO against Russia. We happen to be geographically quite close to Russia. Nobody thought of that. There's about 400 kilometers from Stockholm, where I'm at, to Kaliningrad, which is Russia. To St. Petersburg, it's 500 kilometers. Okay? And we spend money of my tax money and your tax money in Sweden to equip NATO, in this case, a proxy war with Ukraine as a chess piece against Russia. The politicians in Sweden and the Swedish population are crazy. And they still vote for the same parties every year, every 4 years. They vote for the same shit. Unbelievable. I'm going to stop there. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye.